Warning, the following presentation contains cold, hard truths that might change the way you think. Viewer discretion won't do you any good now.
Hey, look who it is! It's everybody's favorite little dinghy. It's like pixel graphic, side-scrolling, funny little guys, I'll tell you. Where you get to dig through the dirt, looking for treasures. You're fighting dudes and slime balls are coming at you. This thing looks like my mother-in-law. You're doing a lot of mining. You build a few stinking houses. You're putting up quite a lot of torches, I have to say. You gotta brighten the place up a little bit. You can't see nothing. We're talking, you're zipping around. You got rocket boots. You're flipping and flapping all over the place. Now, if this ain't some kind of Freaky Friday stuff, all right, I'll stop.
It's been nearly 7 years since the release of Terraria. Nearly 3 years since the release of 1.3. And about a month and a half since the release of 1.3 on consoles, and many, many months since I've seen a vagina in real life. Now, before we dive into the debacle that is 1.3, let me just start by saying, God, I missed this game. After taking some time away from it, I got a chance to rediscover the fact that every single thing you do in this game is fun. Even things that you would expect to be tedious, like gathering ingredients to craft healing potions. First, you go digging in the desert and collect a bunch of sand. You put that sand into a furnace to make a bunch of glass. You turn that into glass bottles. You fill them up with water. Then you collect some pixie dust by standing around in a hallowed area just cutting up pixies. And then my personal favorite part, you cruise through the awesome looking hallowed underground and just collect crystal shards. And you make potions out of all that. Look, Daisy, I'm sorry, but I just can't go out on that date with you tonight. I have a lot of sand I need to collect. I need to craft a lot of glass bottles. I have a lot of work to do. I would love to have a long-term relationship with you, but there are just too many greater healing potions that need to get made. Now, when Terraria 1.3 was released for the PC version, it delivered. We were given a lot of new enemies, new events, new bosses, new resources, and the best new weapons in the game. 2 years later, Terraria on consoles has finally caught up to version 1.3. Finally, the full Terraria experience is experienceable on my PS4. Couch-bound gamers now have access to the dozens of additional items and features they were missing out on. The NPCs are more alive now, the item animations are more interesting, the weather is better looking. The game now integrates the PC version achievements along with the PS4 trophies, and we have the 1.3 content, the cultists, the invasions, solar armor, the Moon Lord. However, bringing console Terraria up to version 1.3 was not without its share of side effects. Now, the problems that arose by adding this update range from not a big deal at all to pretty lame, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. These are just the things that I've noticed. Okay, we have an extremely long Relogic splash screen. The previous Relogic screen was 2 seconds long. This new one, a whopping 13 seconds. Not a good start, guys. I mean, I got stuff to do. I want to build a lovely gold brick suite for my nurse and my wizard. Okay, the load times definitely got longer. Not the worst thing in the world, but... Oh, come on already! And how fitting that there's an animation of days going by, because that's what this feels like. Hey, you know what? It's worth it. The game is probably twice as big now, so I'll accept this. Now, the very first time I signed into my new 1.3 game, I had to convert all my worlds, which took around 19 minutes. And when I finally get into one of the worlds, the game freezes. Not only is the game frozen, but my character is also turned to stone. So I try again. Now, the game isn't frozen, but my character is still stuck in stone, with no way to move around or use any items. So I went on the forums, and not surprisingly, I wasn't the first person to experience the stoned character. So one of the moderators suggests that if this happens to you, you should try killing yourself. In the game. Not in real life. Although I'm sure at this point, those guys wouldn't mind if a few of us did. So they claim that should fix the problem. Okay, now I just gotta somehow kill myself without being able to move around. I'll just remove my armor, remove the accessories, and something will come kill me eventually. Man, I'm good at this game. The first difference that I noticed was that the contents of all my chests had been totally shifted around. It was like somebody broke into your house and ransacked the place. But you have a hard time telling if anything's missing because nothing is organized anymore and everything's so out of whack. And even though this could have been a lot worse, I mean, things could have moved from one chest to another, it's still pretty horrible. I spent good hard minutes organizing all this crap in some really brilliant ways. I had that shit down tight. And you fucked it all up. Thanks a lot. What is with this? Get out of the chest! Ever since the 1.3 update, I keep getting stuck in chests. Now, as for the new menu scheme, the crafting menu from the console version has been deleted. And as much as I do love the PC version's menu scheme, it's a little easier to navigate them when you can actually use a mouse. Switching around through the different submenus just doesn't feel great on the PS4 controller. In fact, it feels like complete horseshit. Not to mention, there's just too much crap on the screen now. Too much text over images, over windows. Ugh. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I miss that old crafting menu already. Being able to scroll through it and see all the different things I could craft and their required quantity of ingredients, you know, in a more than microscopic view. The other thing they got rid of, as far as I know, was the ability to zoom in and out using the middle pad button on the PS4 controller. No, guys. No. And also, now every time that I zoom in, all my buffs just become really hard to see. When I'm zoomed out, they look fine. That's gotta be easily fixable, though. But why is it that every time I reload my game, my directional pad shortcuts are gone? They become unbound every single time. It's just guaranteed to happen now. I didn't think this was annoying at first. I mean, whatever, it gave me something to do. But after you show up to a boss and you forget that the buttons aren't mapped anymore, more than one time, it gets pretty fucking annoying. Look at this. All I see are the lights on my hoverboard. I'm not using the invisible buff at the moment. Let me quit out and come back in, see if that fixes it. Huh. Now I'm totally invisible. Wow, that actually made it worse. Now I'm just a shirt. And pants. This is just getting strange. So as you can see, there's a couple of bugs. Can't really hide that fact. So the question is, was it worth it? Was console 1.3 worth the 2-year wait? Was it worth all of these bugs? The answer, without a doubt, is... Of course it was. You think I give a crap about these bugs? This is Terraria we're talking about. I'll take whatever I get. The console and PC versions of this game have been so vastly different for way too long. This update had to happen no matter what, and you know these developers have the ability to fix each and every one of the bugs I mentioned. I mean, look who we're talking about here. These guys are not untalented, and all those other changes I mentioned. I care less and less about them the more I play, and this game is so great that it's barely affected by any of the changes. Although there are some problems, I am still so glad that they implemented this update. It gave me a chance to rediscover why 1.3 was so amazing in the first place. It really builds on top of where the main game ends in terms of the combat. The enemies get harder, you have to really be on your toes now, and the weapons. Star Wrath, Last Prism, and the portal gun. For fuck's sake, the portal gun. Terraria is back and better than ever. Bugs galore, and who gives a fuck? Let's do this. 1.3 consists of fighting the newly added cultist boss, then beating the 4 separate invasion probes, and then killing the Moonlord. The combat during these events is so involved and intense. It makes you forget all about your more relaxing days as a miner. Now it's hard to believe that at any moment, if you want, you can just leave the battle, drop down underground, and go mine some cobalt. I didn't say you'd be successful at it. The 1.3 content is the perfect level of difficulty. It's hard as shit, and beating the Moonlord is so satisfying. Just seeing him go down right there. Man. Does that make you feel good? And also, after you beat him once, doing the pillar invasions over again feels a lot easier because you finally have access to Luminite, which is used to craft all the endgame armor. I also had a surprisingly hard time with the solar pillar invasion event. And I don't know why, but I had this stupid idea that if I changed the color of my hoverboard to teal and black, maybe that would help me beat it. And it did. Now, as for the bugs, people certainly had cause to complain. But if you look at the bug report section of the Terraria community forums, some of these complaints are just a little overdramatic. The game is no longer playable. Oh, really? Is that why I just beat the Moon Lord? I think I just played through almost the whole thing. Maybe some beta testing next time. Wow, what a great idea. I wonder why they didn't think of that. Sounds like it wasn't even properly tested before putting the update out. Did they, not hire bug testers before releasing the game? Why do creators do that? Yeah, guys, they launched the biggest update the console version has ever seen, and they didn't test it. Yeah, that's what happened. Come on now. Catching all these bugs wouldn't have been possible unless they had an army of testers, which I guess they do now. So get over it. Can someone please tell me how to fix this? Also, I can't see my weapons often. Please, Pipeworks, fix this. Do you want to fix it or do you want them to fix it? Which one is it? My kid is in the other room crying because he already lost his characters in the save file conversion. Man, that is a really touching story. What did you expect to gain from posting this? As if the developers of this game are all sitting around the computer reading your post and saying, "Man, guys, we made a kid cry with this. I think we went too far this time." If my kid was crying over a video game, I'd smack the shit out of him and say, "Hey, grow some ball hair, you spoiled little trapped in the Matrix little shit. I love you, son." Now that's parenting. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but I got away pretty easy on all this. I really didn't lose much compared to most of these people. In fact, I didn't lose a single thing now that I think about it. And if I did, I really didn't care enough to notice or remember it. That's how unimportant it is. We're talking about items in a game. And if your entire character or world was deleted, it shouldn't be a big deal if you supposedly like playing the game. I love starting over in this game. I do it all the time. I've completely lost count of how many characters and worlds I've started. And the beginning grind is arguably the best part of the game. Having to really strategize about every single thing you do, including simply navigating the world. I mean, come on. Who doesn't want to relive that? I'm being totally serious. I fucking love the beginning. Fuck all of you. Now, if you thought 1.3 was the elephant in the room, there's an even bigger one. I'm talking, of course, about that Terraria Otherworld. Yeah, remember that? The newest and only spin-off game of the Terraria franchise. It's been almost a year since they restarted development from scratch, and they've been understandably silent ever since. Ladies and gentlemen, these people need our support more than ever right now. Dealing with the bug-filled fallout of console 1.3 along with rebuilding Otherworld and getting that back up and running, these goals will not be achieved if we don't help them make it happen. I really don't know where I'm going with this. I certainly don't have any money I can donate to them, nor do I expect you to. I can barely afford my car insurance. All I can say is, you guys are great, and good luck? Please just finish Otherworld.